We're reading in the book of Numbers now. And you may find the book of Numbers a little bit difficult. There's a lot of lists of names and places, and you might say, well, what does that mean to me? And I want to help you to paint a little picture. In the beginning of the book of Numbers, a census is taken of all the people that have left Egypt and are now as part of the wilderness camp of the children of Israel. And God has given Moses a description of how that camp should work. And so yes, we have lists of names and numbers of how many people from each tribe, but there's also a description whereby the center of the camp was the tabernacle of the Lord. And remember, God's presence manifested in that tabernacle. It was a pillar of fire by night and it was a cloud by day. So constantly there was the evidence of God's presence in the middle of the camp. So the very center of the camp was the tabernacle, and then on the four sides of the tabernacle, each side had 3 tribes. So you can just imagine in your mind's eye the thousands and thousands of tents that are spread out from the tabernacle. Moses and Aaron were on one side where they constantly interceded with God for the needs of the people, but the tribes are all around. It's a beautiful picture of the idea that God should be the absolute center of our lives. Well, one thing you may not know if you don't know Hebrew is that most of the names listed in those lists are not just pretty sounding names that go well with last names, like hopefully mine goes well. It's a nice alliteration, Becky Brimmer. And maybe your parents chose a name because it was named after a flower or some other thing they thought was pretty. No, the names in the Bible are actual Hebrew words. It'd be like if I was named a woman who knows God, and every time my mother called me to dinner, she would call out the door, woman who knows God, come to lunch, come to dinner. That's the kind of names they had. God is our judge, God is our friend, God is faithful, God is with us. All of these names, they're praise to God. How amazing that every time it was dinner time, the mothers of Israel would step to the edge of their tents and call out to their children from one end of the camp to the other. And it was a cacophony of praise to God. His name actually appears in many names. For instance, Daniel is God is my judge. There is an amazing message that comes across. So I just imagine myself as a Canaanite traveler, traveling and coming across the children of Israel in the desert. And here's this amazing tabernacle in the center of the camp with a constant fire that's going up to God. And there is this presence that you can see, but I am sure you also could just feel the presence of God. And the closer you got to the tabernacle, the closer you felt that. But then dinner time comes. And suddenly, the mothers of Israel are calling out, friend of God, come home. God is faithful, come home. It's time for dinner. God was at the center of every aspect of life in the desert. So when you're in one of your desert experiences, just remember to put God at the center and remember to give Him praise. He is with you in every circumstance. Come join us in reading the Bible this year. There is so much riches of what God wants to show us.